What in the hell is going on?
Lothar, thank you so much for giving us some of your time here.
Where am I? I don't
Uh,
even know.
it is
Zoomlandia, I think it's called.
yes.
All right.
Is Zoom a technology that you guys have used before, or is this brand new for you?
No. I mean, I remember the TV show Zoom. I liked that, but I don't know anything about Zoom. I mean, this is just a video phone call or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I see where we're at.
So
Someone from
Blothar,
the Jetsons.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So Blothar, let me
It's
ask
not
you,
as
like
cool.
all these years of this disdain for humans, I have to ask you, why do you guys put out such great content and put on these wonderful concerts to please these humans?
Well, we're not really trying to please them. We're just doing what we do, and humans can't stop looking. I don't blame them. I mean, we're great. We're hilarious. We're funny. We're just beautiful. We're attractive. We're sexual dynamos. I can't blame them.
Now, GWAR was frozen in Antarctica and then risen. Now, how are they handling all this massive heat around this puny planet of Earth right now?
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing, just proving how far ahead of our time GWAR was. In the very original mythos of GWAR, which humans became aware of around 1985, we were thawed out by all of the hairspray that the glam metal bands like Motley Crue and Skid Row were using back in the day. And they caused a big hole in the ozone layer. And of course, we got thawed out like pot pies that are, when you leave the freezer door open. So
Right.
we've been aware of global warming for quite some time. And, our advice to humans is just go with it. I mean, you're not going to, since you've obviously fucked things up beyond repair,
Yeah,
you might as well just grab a surfboard if you live in Iowa and get ready for what's coming.
Now, are you guys affected by any of the heat or time in general, or
Well, I mean, we sweat.
You sweat.
I sweat a lot. I'm sweating right now. I'm sweating balls right now. I'm somewhere in Ohio, Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. Chrissy Hynde mentioned this in a song.
Isn't today or yesterday the start of your tour?
No, we've been out for I guess, almost 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Seems like an eternity.
Now, with GWAR being around for 40 years, how do you even stand to this day dealing with us humans and all? Like, I know you murder and blow our blood to the fans, but at the same time, you still have to go out and get more human slaves to do this.
You're talking about blowing an awful lot.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Blow this, blow that. All right, look. Yes, we spray humans with blood and we blow humans. It's true. But the thing about it is, I mean, how do we stand human? I mean, humans are our responsibility ultimately. Like that, we mated with apes and produced the human race, and now we have to live with them like a poor performing child. Just like your least favorite thing that you've ever done. That's what humans are, but you can't get rid of them. I mean, what are we going to do? We rely on them for all of their ridiculous trash culture, which brings us such joy. Horror movies and professional wrestling. We can't get rid of all humans. What are we going to do? Kill Ric Flair? That's absolutely absurd.
Nobody can kill Ric Flair.
Have you ever extended an invite to Ric Flair to maybe join you guys on stage? Or
we've seen him. I mean, GWAR has been mixed up with wrestling in the past. And we were delighted. We were glad to be a part of it. We haven't. I don't think we've actually reached out to Ric Flair. We used to go watch him wrestle all the time back in the days of Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. But those were the good old days. Back when Ivan Koloff was wandering the ring. Blackjack Mulligan and Ricky Steamboat. That's right. We're old.
Out of curiosity, how far away is Scumdogia from here? Like, is that eons away? Are we talking about like a 5-hour trip by flight? What are we talking about?
We always say it's way past Uranus, but it is, yeah. I mean, it's quite some ways away, and you can only really get there through, traveling through a wormhole. So yeah, it's quite some distance away. I'm actually not from Scumdoggy. I'm from the planet of Mist.
Of course. Yeah, that was your training facility, Scumdoggy.
Right. Well, I mean, I had a big influence on Viking culture and things like that. So that's how it plays out with GWAR. I mean, we have this sort of reciprocal, I don't know what you call it, like those little fish that swim around on the belly of sharks.
Right.
That's what humans are for GWAR.
Now,
We love them. Like they're picking all of the bugs off of us, so we can't just get rid of them. But
glad we can help.
Yeah, but we might eat them at any moment, though.
Now, do you guys go back home at all, or are you pretty much stuck here on Earth for quite a while?
I mean, for a long time, that was the main, sort of the main theme of all GWAR performances, was that we were trying to get back home. It was like even stupider than Gilligan's Island. But coconut bras aside, we did manage to eventually we actually have been able to restore our ability to travel through space. But like I said, I mean, in outer space, they don't have, I don't know, just off the top of my head, Reese's peanut butter cups, Dilaudid, all of the things that we like.
Is it weird that there was a big deal that the U.S. government said that we have evidence of aliens on our planet, and you guys been around for 40 years and all? Have you thought about storming the Capitol yourselves?
It was infuriating, I will admit. I mean, but most humans actually know. They're not that stupid. They know that the reptile people have been secretly banging aliens in some hole in the ground, and that the Earth is flat. They've known all of that for decades, eons.
Yeah, there was a guy at the Capitol riots that kind of reminded me of Blothar here. He had a similar look.
Yeah, you know what he looked like to me? He looked like, you remember when Fred Flintstone goes to his meetings of the water buffalo?
Yes,
of course.
Yeah, that's what he looked like to me. But yeah, the QAnon shaman, he really was I did like him. I especially like when he was acting the fool inside of the Senate, the Congress, the congressional chamber, and he was in there like yelling and screaming, and one of the other idiots looked over at him and said, "Hey, get it together." Yeah, you're really out of line. We're here in the seat of the American Capitol with a bunch of fucking zip ties running around, but you are crossing the line.
Now, Blothar, unfortunately, we lost Odorous, several years ago now, and you were kind of called back to the band. What made you want to come back or need to come back?
I wouldn't say I wanted to come back. I was asleep, which I am a lot of the time. And suddenly I woke up and I was on stage at Riot Fest in Chicago in front of, I don't know, 25,000 humans. So it was stressful coming back. And Odorous, he was just the greatest entertainer that one of the, certainly the best heavy metal front man of all time. But he had some problems. One of his problems was that he owed me money, a lot of money, a lot of yams. Actually, we use yams as currency. And he was behind on his yam payments. So I personally don't believe he's dead. I personally think he's just hiding because he knows that he owes a lot of yams to a lot of important people.
It's interesting because you guys are big, strong, powerful creatures. I feel like you could harvest yams easily with your power.
Well, yams don't come as easily in outer space as they do on Earth. Here, they're practically growing on trees, except for they don't grow on trees. They grow out of the ground as a root. Right. I just ate some yams, as a matter of fact.
The weirdest thing is when I tell Ticketmaster I got a bag of yams to go see in concert, they don't accept it. That makes no sense to me.
I know. Yeah, you'd think You'd think that yams would have caught on, but no, we just sort of trade them back and forth amongst ourselves for things like Beanie Babies and other ridiculous things that we like. Yeah, I mean, Odorous, it was a sad time. Losing him was difficult. We managed to keep it together and to put out records that are GWAR records, and that's the best we can do to honor the creature. So that's what we're doing.
As legendary as GWAR is and how thrashing and intimidating the band is, are there tours that you try to get on where they, for no reason, disrespect you and won't let you on and all? Did you try to get onto like Lilith Fair, for example?
Or that Taylor Swift tour? I thought you guys were going to try to open for her.
Yes. Well, they get really confused when I say I'm neither woman-born woman or man-born man. I don't know, I've got 4 udder wieners and a sideways vagina. Where do I fit in at Lilith Fair? I'll tell you, in the parking lot. That's where I fit in.
I feel like there's people who also identify as that now, though.
Yeah, there's very few of them.
You're not that different anymore.
I mean, certainly GWAR has had a hard time getting opening slots. That's true. Back in the very early days, we opened for Glenn Danzig, believe it or not, and the Butthole Surfers. But over time, bands came to fear GWAR, and they wouldn't let us on their tours because they didn't want their fancy fans to get wet, nor did they want to play after the greatest shock rock band in the history of all fucking existence. So, yeah, we had a hard time getting on, but Mudvayne actually had the balls to do it, and we're very grateful to them for that.
That's tremendous.
New metal, I guess that's where GWAR fits in. I don't know.
Yeah, GWAR, you don't need to fit in anywhere. That's what makes you guys
no, we
great.
don't fit in. Of course not. We don't fit in with new metal. We're out here just alienating all of their fans. No, they love it. They love it. I'm very impressed. There's a lot of we're gaining a lot of new fans on this tour. We're very excited about it. We needed to prove to the powers that be, that being your ticket masters and your Live Nations and all of your other yam hoarding entities, that we knew how to do this. And it's working. It's working. We're coming out and showing people a good time. We're passing out some range smocks so people can watch it without getting upset. We still get letters from parents about their my daughter was going to graduation and we had her hair double processed and then it turned bright pink. And I want to know what I expect some recompense for this. And this woman, like she actually emailed, she was outraged. And I wrote her back personally. I was like, look, I'm sorry about this. Just shave your daughter's head. It's a simple solution to this problem.
Exactly.
She didn't like that answer. But then she made the most wonderful argument, which was, you're very talented. Why do you have to put on the outfits and act that way, vulgar like you do? You've got lots of talent. Let your music stand for itself. So, on her advice, we're going to give it all up. We're just going to. That's how I wrote it back, and I was like, you know what, lady, you're right. We have clearly taken a wrong turn.
Yes, yeah.
It took that one lady.
And it's like when it's like when Kiss lost the makeup. It was strange for a little while there. Yeah.
No, that was a very long explanation.
You guys can all do your own solo albums next. Yeah.
Yeah, we will.
So for people for these new fans or people that are coming out and seeing GWAR for the first time, or even old fans that might be interested in coming back to see GWAR, what can they expect from the 2023 live show of GWAR? What's new? What's exciting?
Well, while you were talking, I was watching your lips move up and down, surrounded by that lovely swath of red hair. And then I looked over and I noticed that there's a bear behind you.
There is.
What kind of message are you trying to send here?
Hey. It's okay. I'm into 4 penis men is what the message I'm
all
saying.
Right.
That's his intimidation bear. Be careful.
So anyway, point is that I became hypnotized by your lips, and now I can't remember what the hell you asked me.
Happens to the best of us. I
Yes.
was saying, for new GWAR fans or old GWAR fans returning who haven't seen you in a long time, what is the 2023 version of the live show like? Is there?
I mean, it's insane. You know, this so far what's been happening is predictably we're attacked on stage by various creatures. We have I think this year we have Rootin' Tootin' Vladimir Putin comes out for a visit. And he's shirtless, and we perform a ballet with Putin. I do a dance number with him. And then you know, at some point I believe we are visited by a little green electronic platypus. It's like Chat GPT, but in platypus form, and he comes out, and we talk about, you know, he said he's like a genie. He says he can give us anything we want. Well, what we want is pornography, of course, because that's the only thing that the internet really has to offer.
Correct.
Besides Amazon Prime. So, you know, we get on there, and I get really pissed off because he hasn't given me my porn. And this happens every single night. You'd think that I could head this off, but I can't. And then I transform into a giant monster. And that's essentially what they can expect. And, you know, people who haven't seen GWAR, that's probably the funnest thing about this tour, is that we're playing in front of a lot of people who haven't. And they don't know what to think. I mean, they're I love watching their faces change. Yes.
I'm guessing there couldn't have been a real GWAR tour during the whole COVID 10 feet of distance thing, right?
Yeah, we were just glad to be away from each other, you know. I mean, I built a castle out of toilet paper and hand sanitizer and just stayed in there and, you know, whacked it. Watched a lot of 1,000-pound sisters.
Ooh. Now we're talking.
Those are some good-looking broads on that show.
I mean, speaking of whacking it, I have to ask, you know, you're a man with 4 udders, 4 penises, if you will. Are all 4 of these active?
Are they all active? Like, I've had to have talks with the oldest one.
Oh, they came at different times.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I had, and you know, he is active. We've discussed it, and you know, he's using protection. Yes, they function separate from me. They all have their own personalities and life goals. They actually all have their own wieners.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a wiener with a wiener that has another wiener. It just goes into infinity. It's unbelievable.
Penis inception.
I mean, they only the top 2, like the oldest 2, they're the only ones that actually participate in feeding activities. We'll call it feeding, because it's very unclear whether or not they're udders or penises.
Right.
You know, like Blothar is sort of, I guess you could say I'm trans.
Oh, okay.
I've got a little bit of everything. Born trans. So, you know.
Do you have a favorite one?
My favorite one is the small nubby one, the youngest.
Yes. The little runt of the family.
The new growth. The new growth.
Yes. Yeah. He's just so cute down there.
Was there any better love towards GWAR than when Beavis and Butthead introduced the world to you guys and all in one of their shorts? Do you?
I thought you were going to say, is there any greater love than between a man and his own penis?
The answer is no.
Clearly no. Well, you know, yes. I mean, what an opportunity that was. Mike Judge. Turns out the guy was a GWAR fan, and he helped us a great deal back in the day. They even put us on the video game and then didn't pay us. That was awesome. And but you know, I mean, hey, what the hell? I mean, it was a blast. It was fucking great. And people still to this day come up to us and say, you know what? I saw you on Beavis and Butthead way back when. You guys are freaking crazy, man. So yeah, we get a lot of that.
Now you are celebrating 10 years ago. You guys released Battle Maximus. Can you tell us about what's going on with that? That you got something new going on with that now too?
Yeah, I was actually, you know, in a deep freeze when that record came out, but
Right.
it has Oderus's last vocal performance on it, or his last recorded vocal performance. It's a song called Tammy. It's a terrible song, but that didn't stop us from putting it out. Yes, while it's not his most shining moment, it is Odorous, and it's pretty great for what it is. It's hilarious. I think the song itself could have used some work, but but his performance is awesome on it, and it's it's new GWAR. I mean, it's new GWAR from the time period when when the band was, when Odorous was alive, and we were putting out, and recording Battle Maximus. And the record has been remixed, which is good. I think it sounds a lot better, and it moves and hits. It's good stuff. And it's one of the the later day records. It's funny because I don't know how many of the towards the end of his life, Odorous started writing a whole lot of lyrics, like the real mouthfuls. So like some of those songs have like 4 pages of lyrics. I'm just trying to, so they're actually a little difficult for me to sing because it's a lot of
verbiage. Yeah.
But good stuff though, hilarious.
Out of curiosity, how's your for what I understand, your favorite slave Michael Bishop up to? Out of curiosity,
where's he at? Well, yeah, I mean, honestly, what he's been doing is just he's been fighting chronic depression and sleeping in his bunk all day, with his hand rooted firmly down the front of his boxer briefs, just in tears, reading a Michael Moorcock novel, playing Dungeons and Dragons, every once in a while reading academic journals. That's what kind of a boring shithead he is.
Loser probably only got one penis.
Yeah,
a little one penis loser.
Him and his PhD, pretty huge disappointment. That stands for. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the guy's still practicing bass guitar. Maybe one day he'll be able to do something with that. I don't know.
Yeah. So
it's sad, really.
GWAR,
he's like, he reminds me. I tell you what he reminds me of is Marilyn from the Munsters.
Oh,
no.
Yeah. Well, the freak.
Poor ugly creature.
Poor Michael. Poor Michael.
Yeah.
So now GWAR, going on 40 years. How does the band stay in good health to tour on the road and put on these iconic extreme shows? How is it different from 40 years ago now that GWAR is a little older, as far as preparing to put on such live show and tour night after night?
Well, there's definitely a much stronger smell of Ben Gay in the dressing room.
Gotcha.
And I'm talking about the actual Ben Gay, right? Like not just evidence that someone in there has been gay. There's actual,
yeah,
like it's burning your nostrils here. And that's because they're all a bunch of old fucks. And, so, I mean, the warm-up time takes a little while, but, once we get out there, the hassles are just the same. So it's wonderful. But yeah, I mean, it definitely takes a little bit longer to get wound up. But I mean, it's like riding a bike. You get out there and, who hasn't been 55 years old wearing stilts and 72 pounds of fucking latex rubber? It's great.
In August. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, out of curiosity, with your iconic look, with your battle axe, your impenetrable shield, and your others.
Look. We're being joined by some other friends here.
Oh, look at that.
What's up, guys? They're giving us the finger at the moment. That's cool.
Yeah, they don't like you.
Oh, what do you expect? We're humans.
Oh, look, we got another
unhappy
one.
with themselves.
But with your iconic look, has anybody dared ask you, did you think about changing up your look at some point? No, maybe for another tour down the road, like, why don't you try something less intimidating than this?
No, I mean, we're going to keep it like this. I mean, I've thought about maybe shaving off my horns and, shaving my beard. I mean, what the hell? I'd love to grow some hair on top of my head instead.
Ooh.
Can you imagine that? Me with no hair or me with hair and no horns?
No beard either.
Yeah, no beard. We've thought about it, but I mean, I'm a little bit like Bocephus. You don't want to know what's under this beard.
Oh, gotcha.
Now, Blothar, before we go, we know how iconic of a singer you are, a performer you are, but what do people not know about Blothar when the microphones are off, when the cameras are away? What kinds of things are you into?
I like fishing. I like fishing a lot.
Really? You
Oh,
ever
yeah.
get any? You ever
It's
get
my
any
favorite.
strange looks down at the creek when
Of course.
butterfly
Yes,
fishing?
absolutely. Especially since I fish with my mouth.
Oh,
Yeah,
not the penises.
No, I just sort of swim around on the surface and dive down and grab fish like a like a cormorant or whatever those ridiculous, or cormorant. Yeah, I like fishing. I like all the things that normal people my age like. Ancient scrolls, video games, shit porn.
Yeah, of course.
yeah, your morals, yeah.
Yeah, cholesterol medication. I'm into all of it.
Sounds like a very relaxing life off stage.
It is.
Mm. One thing I need explained to me. So I looked up the GWAR bar, and in the Google description, it says fake blood is splattered at the bar, and there's vegan options. That doesn't sound very.
Is that just a
GWAR-ish
PR
to me.
scam?
Yeah. That's the legal department taking over.
Yeah, that would be a bad Yelp review if I found out that was true.
And we don't really have anything to do with the GWAR bar. I mean, we licensed the name to some descendants of McDonald's, and we're just sitting here raking in the money. Actually, that's not true. Balsac started the GWAR bar. Balsac is one of the original chefs at the GWAR bar. So
awesome. Well, Blothar, this has been a fantastic interview. We are honored to have you on the show for a little bit. If people want to check out all things GWAR, what's coming up with GWAR, check out what's going on with Blothar, where's the best place for them to go?
GWAR.net, man. That's where you can find all of it.
And how long are you guys touring for? What, a couple?
We're going to be out until on this run until August, and then until the end of August, till the first part of September, and then we're going to be heading back out in the middle of September towards close to Halloween. So we'll be pretty much out for the rest of the year.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Blothar, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Kill it tonight on stage, and we hope to have you back on in the future.
All right. Thank you.